Today, the U.S. Progressive Caucus chairwoman Pramila Jayapal said, yes, we will have a vote this week on the Build Back Better Act. We also know that Biden's economic advisor, Brian Deese, says that yes, the government is looking at multiple different options of ways to lower the cost of gasoline at the pumps. That is good news there. We also heard from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, and she says that the economic slowdown in China is actually something that they are looking into, and us here in the United States, we need to be understanding that, yes, this could impact us all. So I will address all that in today's video and also go over the upcoming stimulus package, because as of right now, the expectation is we are still a little ways apart, but according to multiple lawmakers, they do have a plan, and I want to address what that is. So first off, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Hopefully you had an incredible weekend as well. If you enjoy these daily uploads, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. So now let's get into the update. When Pramila Jayapal was asked today if there will be a vote on the Build Back Better Act this week, she said in a short answer, yes. However, she also stated that moderate Democrats and progressives, they didn't come to an agreement and say that we have to wait for the full CBO score. That was not the agreement. The agreement was that the moderates wanted to see the fiscal information, and progressives said yes. We're willing to wait. We will wait until you get the fiscal information to make a better decision. So they all agreed. Once they have the fiscal information, then and it aligns with the White House, that is key. They have to have the fiscal information that aligns with the White House. If it doesn't actually align and there's a lot of stuff that's off, they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and figure out where there's so many issues and errors. Also, once this happens, then they will move forward and pass this bill. However, moderates have said they will pass the bill in the House. The Senate's a completely different animal. We're not even going to go into that yet, okay? So the expectation is, and this is exactly what President Biden stated, is yes, he's giving progressives his word that there will be a vote in the House of Representatives on the Build Back Better Act this week. However, Pramila Jayapal even stated this and reiterated this, that no, the Senate is completely different. They got their other things that they have to work on, and they will pass this bill, but it has to pass through the House first. Here's what I can tell you. House Democrats understand that their bill might not be the same once it passes through the Senate. They understand this and they expect it. They are expecting there will be many changes, but they also say that we need to pass this bill immediately through the House. We cannot wait any longer. Progressives have said that President Biden gave them his word that he would make sure his full agenda is going to pass. And he would make sure that the two senators, Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, that they will be on board with this in the Senate. So here's what I just want to say. The agreement and the understanding from President Biden, what President Biden gave a promise on, was he would make sure the full framework, his Build Back Better Act, the framework of it, that passes. Anything else that gets added later on, or people are fighting for, like Bernie Sanders, let's say he wants to include vision and dental, in addition to hearing through Medicare, that could potentially be cut back. That wouldn't have President Biden's backing. So the expectation is we are going to see additional, modifications to this bill, not just cuts. And if we see a bunch of additions, that is where President Biden has left himself some room, some wiggle room, and he has that loophole there that says, you know what, I gave you my word, I would get my full Build Back Better Act passed and agreed to, but the problem is you added this and that. So that's creating a little bit of an issue, is that some are worried that we're not going to get everything that was promised. So again, we're going to see what happens, but here's what's currently in the bill. And there's other things here as well, but let me just break down the main things that people are talking about. Talking about paid family leave that was added back in by Nancy Pelosi, prescription drug reform, universal pre-K, there's elder care, expanded child tax credit payments. This is for 2022, so to extend for one more additional year. There's clean energy funding and tax credits right? We've heard all about that. This is something that Senator Joe Manchin is pushing back against for EV credits. He doesn't want to see unions get an additional $4,500. There's the expanded health care for Medicare. This is mainly hearing, but again, Bernie Sanders wants vision and dental included as well. There's affordable housing, increase in Pell Grants. There's free school meals, immigration reform funding as well. This is something that we still haven't heard from the Senate parliamentarian, but as soon as we do, I promise I will fill you in on that update as soon as we get it. But here's the thing. Right now, this is expected to pass through the House. Now, if this passes this week, great. And I get it. I understand where many people are coming from. I'm not going to come out and lie to you and say, oh, Congress passed the bill. I'm not going to do that. Okay? Yeah. Will the House pass the bill? Yes. I expect they will. Okay? They have the votes, but at the same time, I don't expect the bill that gets passed in the House to go to the Senate and pass there. I honestly don't. I think there's going to be so many modifications, it's going to be kicked back to the House for another vote, for a revote. And then I could see it pass because, well, the House of Representatives are pretty much going to be asked to just rubber stamp the bill, get it through, get it over to President Biden so he can sign it and we can move on to the next thing. That's my expectation. But again, I don't see the Senate passing this bill by the end of November. I just don't. I see it passing by the end of this week in the House. I see it sitting over at the Senate probably for the next couple of weeks, and sometime after December 3rd, I think they would potentially pass it. But again, we'll see what happens there. However, here's what I can tell you. Right now, the White House is trying to get a lot of stuff done. Okay? They're trying to get a lot of stuff done, get all these things pushed through. They want to make President Biden look better. Well, according to reports, the House is currently expecting to vote on this bill this week, which is great, but the Senate has other priorities. Here's something that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is wanting done. He is saying that he wants President Biden to tap into the oil reserves in order to lower gas prices. Finally, and this is something that he said this morning. Here's the crazy thing. Gas has been going up for months. This isn't new. It didn't just all of a sudden just shoot up. This is what we've been seeing. Every single person has been impacted because of this. So here's what I can tell you. Right now, that we can tap into our oil reserves. At this time, President Biden hasn't really addressed this, but the White House has. But here's what we did hear this week. We did hear from the Deputy Secretary of Energy last week, and he said that discussions over tapping oil reserves were ongoing at the highest level of government. So this could mean we could see a decrease in gas prices. Well, not tomorrow, but maybe over the next couple of months. So this is good news there. We also heard from the National Economic Council Director Brian Deese when he was asked if President Biden is open to using the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. He said, and I quote, "All options are open." He also went on to say, "We are very committed to do everything that we can to make sure the American consumers don't bear the brunt of high gas prices and volatile energy prices." So right now, what I can tell you is, yes, they are looking into it. That is good news. The expectation is it's going to take a little bit of time. So just understand, gas prices are not just going to come all the way and plummet down. It's not the way it works. It will slowly start to happen, but the expectation from experts is it will happen over the next couple of months. So just keep that in mind. Now, regarding our economy, I want to break this down and just very quickly address this. What we've been hearing from multiple sources is that the slowdown in China is going to impact us here in the U.S. Well, according to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she says that if China has an economic slowdown, this could cause global consequences, and we would not be excluded from this. She said that the Treasury is closely monitoring what Chinese regulators are doing, and financial experts are currently telling us that we can no longer overlook the Evergrande debt crisis that is currently taking place. So here's what I can tell you. I haven't really been addressing the Evergrande crisis here on my channel simply because it wasn't something that I thought was really needed at that time. However, according to multiple reports, this is something that we need to look into because this is going to impact every single one of us. So again, I'm sorry that I haven't addressed this, but I promise I will keep a closer eye on this. And as we get more reports, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. So again, that is what we know. But if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you do me a favor, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you